Hello everyone, and welcome to Bridge is for Everyone. My name's Jad. This is episode 48 of the Learn to Play series. This episode is the first of several about playing the hand as a defender. That is, when trying to defeat your opponent's contract. Specifically, this episode will look at some of the principles of leading as defender. There are two advantages that you, as the defense, have over the declarer. First, you start with control of the play because your partnership will make the opening lead. And second, after the opening lead, you will be able to see one of your opponent's hands. Dummy's hand will be face up on the table. Of course, whenever you have to lead, the main question to ask is, which card should I lead? There is no simple answer to this question, but there are some rules that will help you in a few specific situations. But before we discuss any of them, I want you to understand the principles behind the rules so you can make good leads in every situation. There are several factors that you must take into account when deciding on a lead. Let's look at them one by one. The first is your cards. Obviously, you can only lead the cards that you hold, but more importantly, looking at them carefully will help you decide which card to lead. Let's look at an example. The contract is 4 spades by East, so you will make the opening lead. Here is your hand. You have a singleton 3 of hearts and several trumps. So, after leading the 3 of hearts, you will have a void in hearts. This means you could then trump any heart tricks played while you still have trumps. The singleton is a good lead against a spade suit contract because the 3 of hearts will not be of use in any other way. Now let's try the same contract with a slightly different hand. This time the singleton is the king of hearts. You could lead the king because after leading you will have the void in hearts. But the king could win a trick if you don't lead it. So this time the singleton is not a good lead. Now let's look at lead decision factor 2. The second factor is the nature of the contract. This means, are you defending against a suit contract or a no trump contract? As you've seen in previous episodes, suit and no trump contracts are played very differently by declarer, and the same is true of the defense. Cards that win a trick in no trump may be useless in a suit contract and vice versa. Let's look at an example where you would lead differently in a suit contract and a no trump contract. The contract is 4 spades by East, so you will make the opening lead. Here is your hand. You have a singleton ace of hearts and several trumps. So after leading and probably winning with the ace of hearts, you will have a void in hearts. Once again, this means you could trump any heart tricks played while you still have trumps. So this is a good lead against a spade suit contract. Now let's change the contract to 3 no trump by East. You have the same hand. Leading the singleton ace of hearts is a very bad idea against the no trump contract. There are several reasons for this, but let's just consider one. Given the contract, it is very likely that your opponents have the remaining high cards in hearts. By leading the ace, you allow them to play low hearts and ensure that all those high cards will win. You need to keep the ace to defeat one of those cards. In defense, the job of an ace, especially in no trump, is to kill a high card, ideally the king. I like to tell my students that the A on the ace stands for assassin. Another way to see this is to think like declarer. In the episodes on declarer play, you often needed to eliminate an ace in order to establish a suit. If you lead the ace, you make life easy for declarer. But in defense, you should make declarer's job harder, not easier. Now let's look at lead decision factor 3. Which suit is trumps? This is a fairly obvious factor that you must take into account, but let's look at an example. The contract is 4 spades by East, so you will make the opening lead. Here is your hand. This is the same contract and hand you saw previously. As you know, against a spade contract, leading the singleton ace of hearts is an excellent idea. Now let's change the trump suit. This time the contract is 4 hearts. As you know from previous episodes, declarer will want to draw trumps. You should not help him by leading your only trump, the ace. Leading any other card is preferable. Now let's look at lead decision factor 4, the contract level. This is most easily understood with an example. This time the contract is 6 no trumps. Here is your hand. Ask yourself this question. What will happen if you lead the ace and king of hearts immediately? Because the contract is no trump, those cards cannot be beaten if they are led. If you lead them, you will win 2 tricks, and because the contract is at the 6th level, it will be defeated. If you have a play that will defeat the contract, you should make it. Now let's change the level of the contract. You have the same hand, but this time the contract is 3 no trump. Once again, you ask yourself the question, what will happen if you lead the ace and king of hearts immediately? You know you will win 2 tricks, but this time that is not enough to defeat the contract. You may not think that matters, but let's look at declarer's hearts. If you lead the ace and king of hearts, East will play the 2 and the 3. That leaves East with the 2 best hearts, the queen and the jack. This will probably be enough to enable East to make the contract. You need to be patient and use your ace and king as assassins. Now let's look at lead decision factor 5, partner's bidding. Leading a suit which partner has bid is often a very good idea. Consider this example. Once again, the contract is 3 no trump. Here is your hand. If partner has only passed, then leading the king of hearts would be madness. Your opponents are most likely to hold the ace and will kill your king. But if partner bid a genuine heart suit at any time during the bidding, then the king of hearts is an excellent lead. You should plan to lead the king, and if it wins the trick, lead the 4 of hearts to the 2nd trick. Unless you are a very experienced player, I recommend that when leading partner's suit, you lead your highest card in that suit. This will help partner locate any missing high cards in that suit. Now let's look at lead decision factor 6, your opponent's bidding. Every time an opponent bids, you have information about their hand. You can use this information to make better leads. Consider this example. Once again, the contract is 3 no trump. Here is your hand. As you saw earlier in this episode, you won't lead the ace of hearts in this situation. But which suit will you lead? You can use the bids made by your opponents to help with this decision. If your opponents have bid genuine diamond and spade suits, then it is likely that a club lead will be useful. Leading a suit which has not been bid by your opponents is generally preferable. Now let's make things a little more complicated. This time, your opponents have bid all the suits you were considering leading. In this situation, there is a rule you can apply. Lead through strength to weakness. This means lead through the suit bid by your left-hand opponent, West, and then towards East's weakness in that suit. Remember, even though West bid spades, East did not show a spade fit. So West is strong in spades, while East is comparatively weak. Your partner will play after West and may have a high spade that will win this trick or a subsequent trick. There is one more situation that you need to think about. This time, your opponents have not made any suit bids. You may think this means you have no information, but you do. As you have seen, after a no-trump opening bid, the next step is to look for a major suit fit. But your opponents have not bid either major suit, so it is likely that they have most of their cards in the minor suits. Leading a major suit should give you the best chance to defeat them. You only have one major suit that you could lead, spades. The 6 factors discussed in this episode apply to all leads, including opening leads. In the next episode, I'll discuss other factors that do not apply to opening leads, but do apply to all other leads. This episode covered more of the basics of bridge. It showed you what factors to consider when leading, especially when making an opening lead. In future episodes, I'll cover everything else you'll need to be a confident and successful bridge player. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel. Until next time, this is Jad reminding you that bridge is for everyone.